This morning started like any other morning. I took the kids to school, had some breakfast, enjoyed some time with my wife and our toddler and our newborn baby. Things were going according to plan. I wanted to work on my open source property management software for veterans today. My goal was to go make some heavy progress in there, create some content to promote it, and I thought it was just going to be another busy work day, busy Wednesday. And it all went downhill after I told Regiment, the largest military veteran gaming community, good morning. Let's take a look at what happened. So it started off with, morning dudes, working on my open source property management software for veterans, but usable by anyone today. Hopefully I can release it by the end of the day. Spoiler alert, I made some progress, but not done just yet. And I linked to it. So, open source, I got some deployments working, full stack software engineer. I want to give back to the veteran community. I want veterans to be able to build generational wealth. You know, veterans join, they put their lives on the line, and what do they get at the end of the day? Some benefits. Maybe if you got an injury, you got some disability, monthly income, passive income. But there's a bunch of those military influencers that are like, oh yeah, you should buy a house, you should rent it out. And that's something that I'm starting to get into. I'm working on a house right now. I'm renovating it. I'm looking to get it rented out by the end of the month. There's a bunch of property management tools, but nothing for veterans. So I took it upon myself to build a solution for veterans by a veteran. The ultimate property management tool, better than anything that currently exists out there. So here I am thinking I'm working on something big. I felt that calling. I felt that passion. But a bunch of boomer vets had other kids. Rice and Beans goes, since you mentioned AI so much, I have to ask, did you use AI to write HAID? So my software is called HAID. Housing Agent Does Everything. And I responded, most of the code, yes, and I review and verify it all, since I'm a full stack software engineer. It's like having a cracked intern who works for me 24/7. A couple of hours pass. Then the boomer goes, I'd be careful about that since it's technically illegal. What? It is absolutely not illegal to use AI tools. Someone that says this doesn't understand how the AI landscape is currently going. All the tools you're seeing, all the latest startups, all the latest ventures, they are built using AI tools, AI-generated code. And it is absolutely not illegal. So I go ahead and ask, what law is being violated? And Bro Mega goes and says, Barracks lawyer moment. Get some comments. People are starting to chime in. The law being violated, copyright law. Someone else goes, in some cases, patent law. Some algorithms are patented, and you need to get permission to use them. Yeah, I'm an end user. I'm not building these AI models. I'm using it. I'm an end user, using it to streamline my workflow. Everything that they're saying, sure, maybe there is copyright violation, but I am not the one that created this model, and I'm not the one currently hosting it. So the boomer goes, it's not just patents. Any code that it was trained on makes it legally a derivative work of them. And he goes on and on, going on like this. Either the last 30 years of open source licenses are entirely meaningless and no longer hold up in court, in which case your MIT license is also null and void, or it's a copyright violation. I'm building open source property management software for veterans, and I was letting my veteran community know about it. And the reaction I get, copyright violation, he's using AI. Boomers, that's boomers for you. They go and fluff up the stock market with this fake cash, and they blame my generation for ruining the economy. They're the generation that created Social Security. Okay, Boomer. Of course, I stand up for myself. I say, absolutely false. It is not illegal to use publicly available AI models. It isn't. There is no case law to support your claim from the perspective of an end user, such as myself, contributing to the open source community. The Boomer goes,
using the models is not illegal. Using the models and claiming ownership of the code produced by them, no attribution, and potentially conflicting license or incomplete licensing is, however. I like the intent behind Haney's.
It's HAID. Housing Agent Does Everything. It'll do everything.
And especially open sourcing it, although I think the name might turn off some people.
Yes, it'll turn off boomers like you, Rice and Beans, which was the staple of my college days.
But the commercial aspect of it being AI generated could back you into a legal corner in the future as a result. I've seen a mixture of the two approaches from legal teams.
Alright. It's super long. No one's gonna want to read this, so either I'm sorry for that happened to you, or congratulations. I'm not gonna read it. So pick your response, whichever applies. And then again, me, the voice of reason, just a guy looking to help out other veterans. I go and say, you confuse end user with LLM provider. When I make an API call to an LLM provider like OpenAI, the responsibility for model training and data sourcing falls on them, not me. Legally, I'm just using a tool, like using Google search or a compiler. There's no law holding end users liable for how the model was trained. And of course, I used AI to research this before I responded, because I'm not going to go spout some bullcrap. And I verified it too, read the article, read the case law. And the only thing I could find is that, like, what the headlines have continuously shown is that AI companies are getting sued by these original creators. Like, OpenAI is getting sued by the Times. Guess what? That lawsuit hasn't even finished yet. There's no ruling on it. There's no case law to support any of these arguments that using AI-generated code in my software will hold me liable for copyright infringement. I didn't train the AI model. I didn't violate any fair use laws on the content. I'm using an AI tool like the millions of other people on this planet that are using AI tools to improve their workflow, improve their productivity. But no, the boomers, they want to stay hidden under a rock. They want to hide from the reality that AI is coming to take their jobs. Well, let's see how this continues.
The API call isn't really relevant. Anything written by it is a derivative work. When it comes to a lawsuit, you can point the finger at OpenAI for your publication of something they generated.
And I respond, show me one court case where an end user got sued or punished for using AI-generated output. You won't, because it doesn't exist. Fact checked. It doesn't exist. There is nothing. Therefore, how can I get sued if no one else has been sued before me? And I'm just some small fish to fry.
Ultimately, it really does come down to, are you worth the government and copyright holders going after? The answer is likely no, but it's a risk you take on.
Alright, I wasn't expecting to get some boomer advice. Obviously, responding, ultimately, you are speculating. Which they are. The speculation is that you're not worth the money for the government or copyright holders to sue. The copyright issue is fact. And I just share this message again. Show me one court case where an end user got sued. Yada, yada, yada. There are nearly 40 years of legal precedent of open source licenses in court. Enumerating every case and reasoning is not only exhaustive, but you're becoming hostile. I'm becoming hostile. Me, a guy trying to help other veterans manage their properties, giving them free software they can use. They can self-host. They can edit and customize how they choose. But me, I'm the one being hostile. You want the risk? Fine.
But whatever. But understand it's a risk. The end. Oh, today I got time. Today I got time, rice and beans. I'ma eat you up. I'ma eat you up. That's what I do. I eat rice. I eat beans. You haven't warned me of anything besides your inability to elaborate on your false claims. Of course, I got that 100 by my ex has my money. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot about the law and various other lawyerings. Cool. Well, I hope you don't get sued. Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro, vet. Another boomer enters the chat. Look at that. Look at that avatar. Thomson Reuters versus Ross Intelligence. So this is a lawsuit that was finalized earlier this year where the Reuters, they're claiming that Ross Intelligence trained their model on Reuters, which the judge has ruled in favor of Reuters. But Reuters, I don't care how it's pronounced, whatever. However, I am an end user. Ross Intelligence is an AI company. I am not providing this AI model to anyone. So this is where the witch hunt for looking for anything that can tarnish my good name, tarnish my contributions to the open source community, my contributions to other veterans. This is where they try to drag me down the mud. Brian goes, and I am not providing a model. Although I have trained AI models for my engineering coursework, I got a 4.0 at UNCW's Intelligent Systems Engineering program, AI engineering program, and I dropped out with a 4.0 to pursue entrepreneurship and to pursue projects like HAID so that I can help other veterans, help people that are like me, that have similar problems to me, help them out for free, give them something valuable, have a meaningful impact on their lives. I don't serve them, nor have I ever served copyrighted data through my models. And how do you know you haven't used any copyright data? I am using a tool. The onus is on the model provider, which in my instance is Google. I'm using Google Gemini, publicly available, free even right now. Just like how if there even was a copyright lawsuit, Google would be sued, not me. Similar to that, Reuters versus Ross Intelligence. The same thing. So, and the boomer goes, so anyone who murders someone with their Mustang can say it was Ford's fault. Better check your reasoning. And I go and respond, I'm building open source property management software for veterans. I'm not murdering anyone. Check your reasoning. Law is law. I'm pretty sure the only point is anyone trying to make it simply cover your ass. And the voice of reason comes through again. That's why I keep asking for proof of an end user being sued for AI-generated output. It is not illegal to use AI tools. The liability will go to the model provider first, and there is no mention or evidence that end users will be sued or held liable. Nobody said it's illegal to use AI tools. It might be illegal to distribute content generated by AI tools. All right. So if you all aren't aware, GPT 4.5 Jest is one of the first models to pass a Turing test with flying colors. 73% pass rate, which means humans are unable to determine whether the outputs of GPT 4.5 are generated by a human or an AI. 73% of humans, which is more than most humans on average. So these guys, they come at me from the left flank, from the right flank. But I got a motherfucking machine gun, and I'll fucking mow them down. You're speculating. Speculation is not law. Which takes us back to cover your ass. Take no chances. A lack of evidence that you know of, to your point, is not proof that you are right. That is not how law works. Things are legal until there is a law making it illegal. I have a large legal team. I am the CTO for a legal tech company. I'm the CTO for Virtuals and Assistants. We provide legal paralegal support to attorneys, marketing support to attorneys, legal administration support, as well as small business administration support, small business marketing support, and web development
services and AI automation tool development for all of them, internally and externally. And I've been doing this for a while now. Then Rice and Beans coming back because he wants me to go eat some seconds. As a CTO, that makes you all the more liable for any decisions. You seen they use AI to jail some people, but the AI got it wrong. That's one of my fears of AI, LOL. CYA, one of the most improved things you can ever do and should always do. That's why I always ask for receipts everywhere I go. LOL. Google Harvey Murphy Jr. Texas, and it should bring up the case. I have nothing to cover. I did my due diligence in 2023 when I transitioned out of the Marine Corps and went all in on AI entrepreneurship. You don't know of any laws. That means they don't exist. You haven't heard of cases. That means they don't exist. You always have something to cover. That's like, I didn't do anything wrong, so I'm not hiring a lawyer. I just told these fools I work for attorneys. We have a large team of attorneys that work with us, that will support us, that will defend us if it comes to it. Then Mr. Payne and Star goes, also, from a quick search, it would appear Blaze is correct. Thomas Reuters, Ross Intelligence, and the New York Times was OpenAI, blah, 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 blah. Those are all lawsuits against the model provider, the company that trained these AI models, not the end user, creating tools or using the AI tool to help build something new. Some of these cases are ongoing, so until they make some laws or decisions on these cases, they are technically in the clear. And then Ryan Fidel, he's like enjoying, he's eating his popcorn. Michael Jackson gif. I have worked in the AI X legal landscape since transitioning out of the Marine Corps in 2023. I'll be the first to know when the legal rulings surrounding AI-generated code change, and I will adhere to laws and regulations. Until then, it is 100% legal, and anyone saying otherwise is speculating. I'm working on free open-source property management software for veterans as a side project. I'm not sure why other veterans would have an issue with that. The boomer crawls out of bed, back creaking. That didn't count for his VA claim because back in the day they didn't tell them to go to medical, so it's not his disability claim. I've been doing this for over 25 years. I'm not new to this or contracts or licensing. I can recite most open source licenses by heart at this point. Government enforcement is usually for their benefit, which means they will stand to make more money suing you and your company than the cost to sue you and your company. If you're small, they very likely will ignore you because their cost ratio isn't worth it. It's still a risk nonetheless. So you can see there's a little bit of derangement going on with these people. You click his profile, and you can see he's from California. They're a little deranged over there. Something in the water, or lack thereof, as proof by those fires. Think we all learned a lesson here? I think we all learned some things today. That was pretty informative. All right. You want to play Ball Boomer? Do a code review if you are so concerned, old timer. Link to the repo. My tech stack consists of only open source libs. Next.js, open source. TypeScript. TypeScript is a freaking language. Prisma ORM, open source. Supabase/PostgreSQL, open source. Next.auth.js, open source. Tailwind CSS, open source. Bun, open source. Where would the copyright infringement be if I'm just using open source libraries and building some UI elements, building some CRUD routes? But these boomers have no idea. They just want to spout. It's okay, baby. It's okay. Alright. Let's take a quick break. Yeah, I'm making a little bit of hibachi right now. I understand your dependencies are open source, but you're not claiming ownership of those. The issue is with the derivative work that comprises the core of Hades. It's called HADE. Rice and Beans. Get it right. And there's all of this talk about copyright issue when the code is right here? Why can't these boomers just open up the code? Why can't they just look? Where's the copyright? You want to go through every single file here and tell me where the copyright is? We can check the app. I know maybe some of y'all aren't coders, but the app directory is where the business logic is. Let's take a look at the community tab. That's still a work in progress. Well, you get the point. I just got yacked on by my baby. So, continuing off from where we were last off, if you haven't used AI yet, it is a huge productivity boost. It's a force multiplier. One sec. Baby girl's hungry. Baby girl's fed. One little fun fact about me is I'm a good father. I'm also very humble. Boomer goes, if the code that was used to train the model that provided the code to you was copyrighted, then when you distribute it, that could be taken as copyright infringement. Wow. I'm screwed, aren't I? Then Papa Bear goes, maybe let's move this AI convo to the hashtag tech support. Please, if you want to keep going on it. So everyone's getting sick of it. RG got their announcements. You know, virtually all laws were made because someone did something that was legal and lawmakers decided that shouldn't be legal anymore, so they made a law. When laws are made, do you want to have to go back through all your work and potentially trash it? Oh no, is that what happens? Wow. All these people are so much wiser than me. That's why the boomers are handling our economy so well. Y'all are the laziest generation coming up with Social Security so that you can freaking live off of the working wages of us younger generations. I'm not for it. That's like a socialist practice. I thought this is freaking America. I thought this is America. We pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. I'm not gonna go on that high horse just yet. Maybe another video. Don't even get me started. Let's go see what these boomers have. OpenAI, like other generative AI providers, is offering indemnification to enterprise customers against copyright infringement. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. My ex has money. Thanks for the support. We get a copyright shield. That's what I'm talking about. So there's some chatter, nothing too crazy. Oh, and Brian goes, I would definitely trust that. I trust that you can't even see your own freaking toes, Brian. Let's work on that first. Yeah, look at this. My ex has money. It's in their terms of service. And I'm sure there's no language that lets them out of that. Yeah. Why don't you go look it up, lazy butt? And then here we go. Bloat Lord Dicta comes in with the save. He says, that's not what he said. He is trying to say that if no law is codified around a certain behavior, then it is assumed to be legal. A law cannot be implemented after that, and then charged on the prior act due to prohibitions on ex post facto laws. And my old ass did graduate law school. Boom, mic drop. And it goes on a little bit more after this, but I think I've given you enough brain rot already. If you want to support a veteran trying to help other veterans manage their rental properties, a veteran trying to help other veterans grow a real estate empire using their VA loan, then follow me, subscribe. If you think I'm in the wrong, maybe if I was a little bit too harsh on these boomers, maybe I should take it a little bit easier on them. They don't have much time left. I take that into account, and I know myself, and I seek self-improvement. So if you think that I should have maybe handled myself a little bit differently, let me know down below. Leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Bye.